Hello guys, in today's video, we're gonna check out the best Canon EF lenses in this year. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and I've tried to list them based on their price, quality, durability, and many more. To find out more information about these Canon EF lenses, you can check out the description below. If you want to get a best quality Canon EF lens according to your needs, then watch the video till the end and then decide to buy. At the first position of our list, we have Canon EF 7200f/2.8 LIS Roman III USM. One of the most popular lenses sold by Canon is the EF 7200f/2.8. There are many versions of this lens, but we have selected the IS Roman III version of this lens for our discussion. This model packs the latest technological advancements along with the classic, high-performing design of the past 7200 lenses made by Canon. This lens comes with super spectra coating, which promises better suppression of flares and ghosting. A fluorine coating has also been added, which minimizes the transfer of dirt and oil to the front element through handling. This makes the lens a great low-maintenance option. The optical performance of this lens is high, and the overall design is robust and makes for easy handling. It is worth noting, however, that the predecessors to this lens are not far off in terms of quality. So if the cost is a barrier, you can opt for the cheaper options. Though the price difference isn't all that significant, there may be options on the used market for a fraction of the price. This Canon lens boasts versatility. The working range is perfect for those who do portrait photography, as well as landscape photography and sports photography. For those more interested in travel photography and having a lightweight gear bag, this lens is one you might want to glance over and take a look at some of the other options instead. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Canon EF 24-70f/4 LIS USM. Though there is a more costly 24-70 model produced by Canon, the Canon 24-70f/4 LIS USM gives you the best bang for your buck. Aside from the aperture difference, performance of these lenses is virtually on par, but that's not all. The f/4L lens features optical image stabilization, 4 stops of it, and in handheld shooting situations, this comes in extremely handy. Related post, best Canon 24-70 lenses. Also, the f/4 lens is much lighter when compared to the f/2.8. This is an important bearing on the final scheme of things. A lighter lens is definitely a lot easier to wield for a longer period of time. You might be wondering why anyone would opt for the pricier lens then. Truth is, the f/4 lens has some issues with vignetting, and the extra stop of light might be needed for some photographers. Of course, these setbacks can be overcome with a clever bit of lighting and post-processing, which ultimately means the f/4 lens makes more sense. The number 3 position is held by Canon EF 35mm f/1.4 Roman II USM. This 35mm f/1.4 lens is one of the sharpest Canon lenses ever made. A solid prime lens that works in a number of situations, including interior, street, wedding, and landscape photography opportunities. For professionals, this is a lens you definitely want in your gear bag. The EF 35mm f/2.8 L is very well built. While it might seem like the lens is just a plasticky body, the materials have been selected to keep the overall weight down. On the inside, there are moisture-sealing gaskets that keep things weatherproof, meaning your gear will withstand the elements. The one downfall to this lens is its USM motor. For videographers, they'll need to use manual focusing methods over the autofocus to avoid noise disruption in the footage. That being said, if you can overcome this barrier, the lens will allow you to take advantage of a wide aperture with stunning picture quality. As I mentioned above, this lens is perfect for everyday photography. You can shoot interiors, weddings, street, and everything in between. The wide aperture is perfect for blurring the background. And if you are planning on shooting videos with your DSLR, then this is a great lens to boot. Next at number 4, we have Canon EF 85mm f/1.4 LIS USM. The 85mm Prime is arguably the best portrait lens that you can add to your camera bag. Canon sells 3 85mm Primes at this time. The Canon 85mm f/1.4 is a perfect middle ground between the other two lenses. It offers a wide aperture, excellent build quality, and a reasonable price relative to its more costly counterpart, the 85mm f/1.2 lens. Another welcome bonus is the built-in image stabilization. It's rated at 4 stops, which should work out well for hand-holding shooters while still giving low-light shooters an upper hand. All in all, this lens is an excellent balance for those not desperate for a top-of-the-line 85mm lens and its associated price tag, but still striving for Canon's top-quality design and performance. As with any 85mm lens, this is a portrait lens through and through. If you prefer to use prime lenses, this is definitely a lens any portrait photographer should have in their kit bag. The number 5 position is held by Canon EF 50mm f/1.8 STM. A 50mm prime lens is perfect for virtually any photographer looking for their first top-notch glass, or those looking for a lens to fill the gap. The Canon EF 50mm prime lens steals the show and consistently produces high sales. The model we recommend is the best of all the Canon 50mm options out there, and it'll cost you less than $150. STM stands for stepper motor, and this technology of adjusting the focus is synced with the new dual-pixel CMOS autofocusing technology that Canon has been integrating into all of its DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. This kind of autofocusing tech is somewhat slow but very accurate. It's great for videography when smooth focus transitions are needed. This 50mm prime, along with a few other lenses like the 40mm f/2.8 STM and the 35mm f/1.4, are great for shooting everyday photos. Despite being a powerful tool with a fast, accurate focus, fast wide aperture, lightweight, and ease of use, not many photographers use this lens to its fullest potential. You can really get some amazing shots with this kind of lens. A street photographer, a wedding photographer, and a documentary-style photographer would make great work of this lens. Any hardworking photographer who is looking to make images rather than pluck them from thin air would appreciate the EF 50mm f/1.8 STM. The number 6 position is dominated by Canon EF 100mm f/2.8 L Macro IS USM. Macro photography is an art that requires skill. However, you can do macro photography year-round, so you should have plenty of time to practice this photographic pursuit. A lens like the EF 100mm f/2.8 L Macro IS USM is the perfect macro lens. With a minimum focusing distance of 11.8, you have ample working room to produce some stunning macro visuals. The EF 100mm f/2.8 L Macro IS USM also features up to 2 stops of image stabilization. Image stabilization is useful in situations where you are shooting handheld, though for the best results you would be best off switching off image stabilization and shooting from a tripod. The autofocusing technology on this lens is powered by USM motor, which is both smooth and accurate. However, for most macro photographers, manual focusing will be essential. The autofocus just can't cut it for more advanced macro shooters. Thankfully, this lens allows you to override the autofocus settings. This means you can quickly hone in and adjust the focus accordingly. A macro lens really comes into its own when outdoors. And this is where the need for weather sealing comes into the equation. And the EF 100mm f/2.8 L Macro IS USM has weather sealing. This is the perfect lens for an outdoor photographer who specializes in macro photography. You can capture flowers, insects, and other small features. That said, a macro lens is also suitable for shooting products such as watches, rings, etc. in a small studio setup. Finally, the number 7 position is dominated by Canon EF 100 400mm f/4.5 5.6 LIS Roman II USM. Telephoto lenses are powerful pieces of kit for any photographer, but it will come as no surprise that getting your hands on a telephoto lens costs a lot of money. Getting the best telephoto lenses is out of reach for most photographers, even for some pros. Finding a middle ground is tricky. The Canon EF 100 400 f/4.5 5.6 LIS Roman II USM is one of the few lenses you can find that's good for most photographers. The range on this lens is extensive and ideal for photographers who like to dip their toes in a bit of everything. The maximum aperture of f/4.5 isn't the fastest in the business, but there are ways to overcome this challenge. In any case, f/4.5 isn't too bad, especially in a good light. And when it comes to 400, the f/5.6 maximum aperture is at par with the other super telephoto zoom lenses in the market. It's also worth mentioning that this sort of lens is small when compared to other tele lenses, so it would be perfect for a travel photographer who wants to capture every bit of adventure. With all things considered, this is a great telephoto lens for those on a budget. offering high-performance optics and a robust design for a lower cost than some of the competition out there. If you want a budget telephoto zoom lens with a reasonably fast aperture, this is the lens for you. This lens will suit someone who does a bit of wildlife photography as well as takes a fair bit of interest in portrait photography. This is a neat little lens for those who always travel with their DSLR. That's all for today. We upload camera and camera accessories review videos every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.